Welcome to Carlos San Pedro Pérez de Viñaspri Winery. Our winery is situated in the medieval town of La Guardia, with an altitude of 635 meters and 1,100 years of history. Founded in 908 by King Sancho Abarca from Navarra, the village was designed as a stronghold. Harvesting takes place in the month of October. The soil is a mixture of clay and limestone, and the grape we most commonly use is Tempranillo, because of its excellent quality, although grapes such as Garnacha, Mazuelo, and Graciano also exist. The grape harvesting that you are watching is traditional, and as you can see, it's done by hand, since our wine making process is carbonic maceration, meaning the grapes enter as whole berries. When brought to the winery, situated in the village centre, the grapes are transported in baskets and are then unloaded into cement tanks. Before unloading the grapes, branches are collected and placed at the bottom of the cement tank to block the tap, obstructing grapes, leaves and stems from passing through. This is certainly the best and cheapest way to filter the grapes. Since we are protected by the Cantabrian mountain range in the north and the River Ebro in the south, we have the advantage of a microclimate. Once the grapes are put into the tank, they are left until the first step in the fermentation process has been completed. This first stage is called alcoholic fermentation, during which sugars are converted to alcohol, meaning the grape's juice turns into wine. This lasts approximately 8 days, during which the temperature is recorded daily. The grapes are put in whole so they macerate without the berries being crushed. Each day during the fermentation process, the tank is pumped over. The must is filtered from the tap and then put back into the tank to oxidize and irrigate, using the whole volume of the concrete fermenting tank. Once the first fermentation has taken place, the next step is to empty the tank, which involves crushing the grapes repeatedly, which was done barefoot in the past, and stirring the pomace in order to extract the maximum quantity of wine. Before crushing the grapes, the tap is opened and the wine in the tank is drained overnight. This wine, obtained solely from the grape's own weight, is called free-run wine, which has little colour, lacks in both structure and body, and is overall not good quality wine. This wine is suitable for a young wine, but is not suitable to age. Grape pressing starts the next day. The grapes in the tank are stirred 2.5 times. Medium quality wine is obtained from the first turn, and from the second, longer turn, the highest quality wine is extracted. The leftover pomace in the cement tank is left to settle overnight in the hope of draining as much wine as possible. As a result of this process, we are able to collect high quality wine. The next day, all the leftover solids or mass are removed by using a plastic basket with the help of a fork to scoop leftovers at the bottom, a shovel to fill the baskets, and finally, a spade similar to a broom to clean the walls, the floor, and the cement, so that the tanks are kept as clean as possible for the next vintage. The branches used as filters are also taken out, since new ones are used each year. At dawn, the crushed grapes are deposited at the bottom of the pressing machine, on the ground, which is also referred to here in La Guardia as a bed. The whole process is operated and run by a specialist called a trujalero. It starts by placing the crushed grapes on top of the bed, which are then pressed again, layer by layer, each layer being 15 centimeters thick. As you can see in the video, it is very important to crush the corners well, so that the mound of grapes doesn't overflow, but collects in a pile. The planks which cover them are placed carefully on top when all of the grapes have been collected into a mound on the ground. To stop the planks from falling forwards or backwards, a nail is drilled into the walls, in front of and behind the mound, by which the planks are supported, as you can see in the video. Once the planks of wood are settled, the beams with handles are placed on top, in 5 rows of 2 heights, and then the process proceeds with the pressing. Firstly, an iron beam hanging from the round plates is lowered, while the round plates turn at the same time in order to stop any imbalance and maintain equilibrium until it touches the beams with handles. By doing this, we are able to work with the same pressure to crush all of the grapes. It is very important that it is balanced out and that the right amount of pressure is applied. It takes 14 hours to fill an 18,000 kilogram cement tank. Like we mentioned before, we used to start very early, around 4 in the morning, to empty the tank. Next, the mixture is moved from left to right with a small plank by one person. In this space of time, the wine starts to flow, and when there is enough pressure, and then the plank is substituted for a bigger one that applies more pressure. At first, only 2 people are needed, then 4 after a few hours, and at the end of the day, 6 people are needed for the process. The grapes are crushed in 15 to 20-minute sessions rather than continuously, allowing the wine to drain. At midday, the beams and the planks are removed, and the leftover pomace is crushed with an axe, and it is all collected again so the process can be repeated. The wine obtained at this point in the process is more astringent, and so it has a bitter taste. Saying this, it also has 2 good factors, being the colour and the fact that it is mature, and so can be mixed with free wine. Both these wines compensate one for the other, and as a result, when mixed they produce a medium quality wine, a harvest wine, while the high-end quality wine obtained earlier in the process is transferred into barrels or is used to create high quality wines, fitness selection wines, etc. The wine falls through the hole to a deposit below, which is called a basin. Next, we're going to go into the cave. Although these caves are from the 15th century, they have only been used as wine cellars since the 17th century. It is believed that during those 2 centuries, since these caves were connected, they were used as a hiding place and escape route, but at the end of the 17th century, they were separated, belonging to families who would create wines in them because of their perfect conditions, which boast the ability to maintain a constant temperature and humidity level of 14 degrees and 85% respectively throughout the year. The caves are around 8 meters underground. All in all, there are 250 caves, although only 4 are used as wine cellars nowadays, one of which is this one, where we age and preserve our wines. In our wine cellar you will see cement tanks, barrels and wine racks. Each one contains wine from various vintages, and between them we have Crianza wines, reserve wines and our high quality wine. Today we are going to try a wine straight from the tank. Generally speaking, it's a Crianza wine which has spent 24 months in barrel, during which it homogenized before being bottled, after which the bottles are placed in what we call the bedroom, where the bottles sleep and are aged further. Once the wine enters the cement tanks, the second fermentation, known as malolactic fermentation, takes place. During fermentation, carbon dioxide fumes are given off, so in the olden days somebody would go down into the caves with a lamp or a candle, and if it went out, this would mean that there was no oxygen present, and so they would not be able to descend into the caves. They would have waited until the room ventilated, and in order for this to happen, they made holes in the walls. Before tasting the wine, you must first clean the wine glasses by rinsing them with the wine itself so that they all smell and taste the same. Next, you will have the opportunity to do a wine tasting. When tasting wine, you must use 3 senses: sight, smell and taste, and in that order. The wines have a dark cherry red colour with forest fruit smells and a variety of tastes. We hope you have enjoyed your visit to the winery.